In a world full of expectations, some women lead with purpose, rise through challenges, and define success on their own terms. This is their journey where every voice echoes strength and every choice shapes a legacy. She didn't just shape policy, she shaped purpose. Anita Karwal, retired IAS, one of the minds behind India's education renaissance, sits down to speak of the journey that tested her, the mentors who guided her, and the juniors who taught her to listen deeper. In her own words, a legacy told, a life reimagined.
On my journey, I have done many postings, from difficult to less difficult, but nothing which did not require me to work very hard to learn a lot from my seniors as well as my juniors. So I have to tell you about one of my most interesting postings, because this is a posting unlike what a typical IAS officer ever experiences. So this post was a specially created post where a mission was created called Nirmal Mission. The Honorable PM was the Honorable CM at that time, and he wanted the state to be cleaned up. So he said, "Iska ek hi kaam hai, swachhata leke aao." This is much before the India Swachh Bharat mission, and I was made the one-man mission MD. And like this, I have done all kinds of jobs. The other very satisfying part of my career has been my stint in Delhi with the Government of India, where I was all through in the Ministry of Education, so either as Joint Secretary or Additional Secretary or as Chairperson of CBSE or as heading the School Education Department as Secretary, Government of India. It has been really very, very satisfying. I had excellent mentors along the way. I would like to name two of them. Both of them were ex-Chief Secretaries of the state. One is Shri Sudhir Mankad, and the other one is Dr. Manjula Subramaniam. She's no more. I've learned a lot from my juniors. Mona is, of course, one of them. So, as a lady officer, when I joined in the late 80s, it was not hunky-dory for women. We were a batch of 120 people with 20 women. It was not easy. One, being very short, I'm 5 feet 2 inches. Two, I was very thin. I was 48 kgs. Three, I had very short hair. And four, I've never worn a sari in my life. Now, when you see this combination, what do you get? You get a girl straight out of college or out of school. So, the perception outside is, ye to IAS officer nahi ho sakti. But, over the years, things started changing for women. What we have seen in the 80s, the same thing doesn't exist today. Women are far more empowered today. Women, the respect for women, the acceptance of women in our services is far more as compared to what it was at that time. So, let me tell you, if a short-haired, 5 feet 2 inches girl, thin girl now joins, she will have far more respect as compared to what I had in that time. Yeah. And I'm so glad for it, because I've seen it unfolding before my eyes, and the government is also very supportive of women. The way things have changed, the whole understanding of the gender requirements is so much better now. So I think for ladies, it's a much better atmosphere to be working in as IAS officers now. So all in all, I'm retired now, but when I look back, I feel that there are no regrets. I'm really very, very deeply satisfied with whatever has come my way and the hard work that I was able to put in.
Anita Karwal's legacy set the fire. Now from its flame rises another force. In a world of complexity, she brings clarity. Mona Kandhar, Principal Secretary, Science and Technology, Gujarat. A 1996 IAS officer, the first woman to lead the department, driving 1.24 lakh crores in semiconductor power, 250 global tech hubs in the making. She learned from the ground, her team, and the trailblazers before her. Calm, precise, relentless. This is how revolutions begin, quietly.
I'm coming from a family or a family background or community, which is like egalitarian in the sense that gender differentiation is not so much there comparatively. I belong to a Jain community, and that kind of culture where we are very sensitive towards all kind of living beings. So with this kind of approach and this kind of personality makeup, my colleagues used to wonder that how will I be successful in a career where you need to have that officer like command, and you have to show that authority you need to own that authority. So without any connection, without any kind of background, I was there. So it was actually very naive kind of person to enter into the service. And again, as a lady officer, So a lady officer has its own pros and cons. We could see that some of them have that stronger gender perception. Some are really forthcoming and they look at your capabilities and all. But you meet all kinds of people. Number of positive mentoring I could get on way of my journey, and one was from my senior, Mrs. Anita Karwal. Particularly, that was meeting her was so reassuring because her personality was somewhat similar to that of mine. She was also soft, and she also again strong-minded but soft, and she was doing well. So that was reassuring for me that okay, I mean, I can also do. Women do face a number of challenges. Before me, the lady officers faced the kind of challenge where there was a kind of gender perception while assigning the duties or the kind of postings or assignments given to women officers. But thanks to them, thanks to Anita madam and some other lady officers who really, I mean, when they got the opportunity, when they were posted to that kind of duties, they excelled. And then, that removed that bias or I mean, there was a thinking that, okay, women can also handle this very well. So that thinking changed. So I used to take it as my challenge that it is up to me that I convince the decision makers that this particular assignment needs to be done this way. And actually, I learned so many things while working on this kind of assignments and challenges. And it was, wonderful to gain that kind of skills that you think from the perspective of others, that how a particular stakeholder to that particular decision will get affected, and you become sensitive towards whether they are going to be benefited by this particular decision or there will be any adverse impact. So this particularly came up when I was given the assignment of housing commissioner. I have been in leadership position almost throughout my career. So it's very important that I have to make my teammates also understand their own particular role. And I also want them to advise me, because they all will be expert in some area. So that is how I worked when I was Minister Economic and Commerce at Embassy of India, Japan. So as a leader, as an officer, I feel it's very important to work in a team, to know your team, to build their capacity, to build my own capacity, and make the process two-way rather one-way, and deliver what is expected from you, or deliver what one is capable of and the entire team is capable of to the best possible extent.
This was Mona Kandhar's journey, a woman who leapt over every hurdle, shattered every doubt, and rose to become an officer of resolve. She learned from her team, from the ground she stood on, and from the one who came before. Now, in a rare one-on-one, she sits with her mentor, Anita Karwal.
It's so nice to see you again.
So nice to meet you also, Mona, and always a pleasure.
Thank you, ma'am.
So we are going to talk today about our journey together. And I just want to begin by saying that I still remember that wide-eyed probationer who came to my room when I was Deputy Municipal Commissioner of Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation.
Yes, ma'am.
And I remember chatting with you and I asked you, where are you from? And you said Valsad. And I sort of jumped out of my seat. IAS officer from Gujarat, cadre, and a Gujarati herself, a lady at that. It was a very big thing for me at that time because we hadn't heard of such things happening.
Yes, ma'am. So even from my community, like I was the first girl or first woman to have this kind of career. So
what brought you in? I mean, in your community, if nobody was sort of, wishing for the IAS or trying for it, why did you do it?
So actually, I was advised by some of very good teachers whom I revered. They thought that I'm actually a very good fit for IAS. So
that you are.
Thank you, ma'am. So they insisted that I should at least try once.
So for you, it was your teachers. For me, you won't believe it was my classmates.
Ma'am.
I was in Delhi University. I had no idea what I was doing with my life. And my classmate said, हम तो UPSC एग्जाम के लिए एप्लीकेशन भर रहे हैं, तुम्हारा भी भर दें. I said, भर दो, सिग्नेचर ले लो मेरा. And just signed on it, and that's it.
Ma'am, isn't it wonderful that sometimes people around us, I mean, they know better about our potential and we are not so much mindful about it.
Yeah, that is so true. And particularly in our service, there is this culture, of seniors mentoring juniors and juniors looking up to the seniors, but seniors also learning from the juniors.
Ma'am, isn't it very heartening to see that now so many women are coming and to see more and more women in leadership role, maybe in civil services or outside?
Yeah, it is. But even now the percentage is not very high.
Yes,
I think we are still below 20%, whereas in the population we are almost 45-49% women. So I think it is also a matter of good education, exposure to good skills, and also exposure to the fact that there are things like this awaiting.
It's very important for the women to be independent in every respect and then make their decisions, So if they get into any professional career, civil services is one such career which puts women throughout in leadership role, right from our journey when we entered into service till date, we had been constantly in some or other leadership position.
That's true.
So
I also want to say that women, they actually add value.
Yes, ma'am.
When they get into these services. I mean, the kind of it's not just humility. It's this connection between human beings that women can bring.
Yes, ma'am.
The empathy and the kindness that they can bring. I think it's adding value to the service.
I completely agree. It gives that holistic, holistic perception, or which is so unique to women. That kind of sensitiveness towards the needs of the different sections. That is so unique. It's very satisfying.
When you are able to see even one person who gets what they wanted, whatever benefit that the government could give or whatever we could do for that one person, even that one person's smile, it makes your day.
And when all the women, they get this kind of opportunity, not only there will be women empowerment, but for a country, for the community, it's going to be so very efficient in the fold of workforce, in the fold of leadership position.
Yes. So Mona, before we end, I really need to know from you that when you started off as a probationer and now today you have really evolved, so you've learned a lot. But tell me, is there that any one thing that when you look back and you feel that had you known it when you started off in this service as an IAS officer, it would have helped you all along?
What I feel, ma'am, is that when I entered into service, there had been lot of training part and lot of people telling you lot of things about different segments of the society. You know, ma'am, as a civil servant, we deal with so many segments of the society. So with all this initial training and initial advices or initial interaction, you just tend to build some perception, or at times I thought I was little judgmental or little biased, which I shouldn't have been. I should have taken, or I should have that objectivity from the very beginning to see things as they are, which I started developing after having that kind of experiences.
For me, it was two things. You know, one is I think I felt I missed some life skills. So that is something which we were neither taught in school nor in college. And you know, that self-awareness is something which I developed along the way. And I felt that resilience is something I developed along the way. So that is something I feel that it should have been taught to us. And the other thing which I feel all ladies, everybody in our service should take care of is their health.
Yes.
And this is something which is not taught to us, and we ignore our health. Let's cheer each other for our journey, I think, Mona.
Yes,
3 cheers to you.
3 cheers to you, ma'am.
Thanks. Thanks so much.
As their stories unfold, with every challenge faced and every milestone reached, they chose purpose, passion, and people.